like backpacking here at Terradrift. Also, backpacks. I mean, they are very handy. They make carrying everything you need to survive into the wilderness possible, and you know, we appreciate that. But the more we use backpacks and the more design innovations we learn about, the more we started wondering how backpacks have changed over time and why it matters. I mean, how did we get from a boxy external frame my dad made me carry when I was a preteen to a sleek, svelte, ultralight thing like the Gossamer Gear Gorilla? And what was the innovation that made backpackers get excited about that external frame? 'Cause woof. So we did some research and then headed to the Outdoor Recreation Archive at Utah State University in Logan to get a literal glimpse of backpack evolution over the ages. And let me tell you, there's some good stuff in there. It's the only archive like it in the world, at least as far as Clint Pumphrey knows. He's the archivist.
We started a small collection of historical gear catalogs, which we have since built to over 6,000 catalogs, over 900 brands, dating from 1900 to the present.
But back to backpacks. First things first, they've been around for millennia. People were carrying stuff around on their backs for ages before the modern backpack became a thing. Pretty much every culture was using some sort of specially crafted equipment to transport goods on their backs from point A to point B. I mean, long before internal frames and adjustable harnesses and recreational backpacking were a thing. But those designs weren't always the most pleasant things to cart around. Usually they were frameless, shapeless, heavy sacks of canvas and leather with less than anatomically designed shoulder straps. They may have had frames made of bone or wood. Some even involved tump lines, straps that go around your forehead to help carry heavy loads. It's not what most people would want to carry into the mountains these days. But similar designs persisted for ages, until there came a point around the late 1800s, early 1900s when brands started offering more outdoor-specific products as more normal folks, i.e. not explorers, started becoming more interested in outdoor pursuits that required carrying more than just a satchel for a nice, easy stroll through the woods. In fact, the actual term backpack wasn't coined until 1904, which is about when brands started designing more innovative gear with straps and pockets for a growing customer base, which was mostly rich white men, of course. Even Abercrombie got in on the action. Yep. Before Abercrombie was a preppy high school staple for kids who never spent more than 5 minutes outside if it wasn't a letter in varsity sports, it was an outdoor brand. Funny, right? In any case, those early designs were still mostly just rucksacks, fabric bags with webbing straps, not any padding to speak of. No wonder backpacking didn't catch on right away. But then in 1924, the Trapper Nelson hit the market. It was the first commercially mass-produced external frame backpack, and that new design, which really just involved putting a frame between your bag and your body to help keep gear from stabbing you in the spine, was industry altering. All of a sudden there was this great new bag that made carrying heavy loads way easier and more comfortable. And anytime things become easier and more comfortable, more people are bound to give it a go, right? You could even sort of custom build your own pack by selecting a frame and bag design separately, which was actually pretty cool. But bags were still mostly canvas and leather and covered in buckles and straps, which are obviously heavy and annoying and take forever to use. So around the late 1930s, zippers started replacing straps and buckles, which is kinda a big deal because zippers are great. They're less easy to repair, sure, but I think most of us can agree that's a trade-off we're willing to make. Now, Kelty may be the first brand to craft a modern-style external frame pack with lightweight aluminum in the early 50s, which is largely cited as the biggest thing to happen to packs like ever. In fact, it's still a design you can find from time to time from brands that still offer external frame packs, including Kelty. It's the sliced bread of backpacks? And Fjallraven, a brand that started with external frame packs and is making them again, but with wooden frames. They actually look and function more like internal frame packs though, which is cool. I actually backpacked with an external frame, one very similar to an early Kelty model this summer. It had the webbing waist belt, padded shoulder straps, and an aluminum frame. And that design was the pack for about a decade, honestly. It got a few upgrades along the way, like a padded hip belt that actually helped transfer the load to your hips, making it even more comfortable to carry all that weight. Jackpack was one of the first to pioneer that design, by the way. But if you've ever carried a heavy external frame backpack, you know they're not very customizable these days. I mean, they don't fit a wide range of body sizes, and they definitely get a little tippy and throw you off balance if you're doing anything but walking in a straight flat line. Fortunately, in about 1967, Greg Lowe, you've probably heard of the brand Lowe Alpine or Lowe Pro if you're a mountaineer or a photographer, introduced the world to the internal frame backpack. That's also about the time when extra features like sternum straps and fully functional hip belts came in too. It's also when Jerry Outdoors introduced a pack made of nylon. Nylon, which is a pretty big deal because that material swap alone probably shaved at least a pound off of standard pack designs. Cotton is heavy, yo! But the internal frame thing was huge because that made packs way more comfortable and easier to use. I mean, again, have you ever carried an external frame? Get off balance just a little and the whole thing is going over. You with it. Nobody wants that. Then all kinds of design features started popping up, like pockets, easy to access compartments, lighter materials, you name it. No water bottle pocket though. Then Osprey showed up in 1974 and started offering custom packs for mountaineers. That breathable mesh back panel they're known for, that showed up just 2 years later in 76, with the brand's internal frame design showing up just after that, though Deuter was technically the first to introduce a mesh back panel in 84. But even with all of these changes, backpacks were still largely designed with one body type in mind: athletic men. Women won't be surprised to find that the first pack designed specifically for them didn't show up until more than 50 years after the first mass-produced models. And that's thanks to good old Greg and Lowe Alpine again. A full line of women's packs with smaller straps and other minimally tweaked design features launched in 81. 81! Osprey didn't come out with a custom women's pack until 93. But that did mean that all of a sudden backpacking as an activity was more accessible for twice as many people, which is huge. But no, there still weren't any packs available for plus-size hikers. The 80s did bring other great features to backpacks on the market though, including more mass-produced breathable mesh back panels from Deuter and hydration reservoirs thanks to Michael Eidson's Camelback. So all you hydration reservoir folks, rejoice. Everybody else, I still have no idea where anybody kept their water bottles. Then in the late 1990s, my people really hit their stride. And by my people, I mean ultralighters. Well, because see, that's when we seemingly went backward in design by removing frames and even hip belts in the name of carrying much lighter packs. But actually, yay, ultralight packs. So thanks for that, Go Light, aka my trail company, RIP. But they opened the door to all kinds of brands crafting awesome ultralight packs in the early 2000s and beyond. And if you've ever carried an ultralight pack, you know how much easier it can be. So they created essentially not only another category of packs that makes backpacking more accessible to even more folks who can't or don't want to carry 50 pounds on every trip, but they also unwittingly created what I'll lovingly call a cult. The ultralight cult. I'm a card-carrying member. But not everybody wants to be an ultralighter, for good reason. So other brands were also still innovating to make packs more comfortable and accessible. Osprey really helped pioneer the molded hip belt and air suspension system. Frankly, I'm a big fan. Mesh back panels changed the way I thought about backpacking. So dang comfy. Pack straps started to be designed for actual human bodies, not boxes with legs. And we even found catalog photos of packs with water bottle pockets in the 90s. Nope, still no water bottle pockets in 91. I guess maybe kind of this guy right here.
They're not very deep.
How were people staying hydrated?
Yeah, right.
In the early 90s. But it took until 2021 for a backpack designed for plus-size hikers to hit the market. Why? Gregory was the first, by the way. 2021 though? Like, that's embarrassing for all y'all pack designers. Osprey was right behind them in 2022, by the way. I know. You thought it was bad how long it took to get a women's specific pack. Now, if you want some insight on how and why it took so long to get plus-sized outdoor gear, we'll drop a link to a video combo we had with a couple of experts in that space below. Anyway, all this evolution has brought us a staggering number of options when it comes to packs. You can easily find bags with hip belts or without, with straps curved to better fit a woman's torso, elongated hip straps for larger bodies, adjustable harnesses, internal frame, no frame, a frame that's not really a frame but actually just a rectangle of foam. Yes, even with water bottle pockets. Seriously, were people just removing their packs every time they were thirsty until like the 90s? What was happening, you guys? And while normally I'd be tempted to say we don't need another brand pumping out even more pack options, I'm actually really glad all of them exist, because it makes backpacking more accessible and approachable for more types of folks, because no matter who you are or what you look like, you can find a pack that's right for you, not some middle-aged athletic white dude. Although if that's you, well, you've always had plenty of options, even if they weren't always the most comfortable. And honestly, it was super interesting to go to the Outdoor Recreation Archive to see this wild evolution in pictures. I mean, there have been a lot of innovations and iterations when it comes to pack design over the decades, and it was really fun to scan the collection and see that. So if you're in northern Utah, you should definitely make an appointment to check it out. We'll add a link below. And if you like this video, you should definitely go watch me backpack with an external frame in the high Uintas. That one's quite entertaining. So go get yourself a pack that fits your body and has water bottle pockets and wander on.